Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and we are getting ready to get on the road to head to the airport so we can head out to Elgin, and this is where we're aiming to get all of the rest of the cameras installed inside the church. They said we should be able to get outside, see if we can mount those outside, do a lot of training. There's some other stuff that they're thinking about doing in the sanctuary, so we're going to be evaluating that. And just seeing how much we can get done. I know we're probably going to have one more trip, but we want to see how much we can get knocked out, finish up the doors that we started, mainly get all of the security cameras there and fix that outside door. The other intercom and all that other stuff has been shipped, so we'll be able to get that other door active, figure out and sort out the that other door wasn't working, because I actually put in an order for a new panic bar and it has not been delivered. So I don't know what's going on with that. I got to follow up with them about that, or see if we can retrofit something to work. I had a bunch of stuff already sent there, and all of the new switches and stuff like that we sent is not actually going to be installed, delivered until Tuesday, and it's actually going to be delivered to Pastor Felicia's house. So we're going to see what we can get. I'm going to be getting there late today, so around like 9 o'clock, and then just going to crash. But again, I still have a key and I have the code so I can get inside of the church. So let's get on the road and then let's head back to Elgin. Hey, good morning, folks. Day one. We're here in Chicago. A lot of the new networking stuff is not going to be delivered here until tomorrow by noon. So a lot of the new stuff we won't be able to do. Today, hopefully gonna get sorted out a lot of the stuff that Amy and Pastor Felicia wants to get taken care of. Normally organizing, setting up the security camera screens, the protect viewport so they can see all the cameras, mark off and kind of install all the cameras that we're able to. Probably going to get up on the roof to see how that is. I did order a bunch of other stuff like the outdoor Cat 6 cable. So if they said that we can get on the roof from the last time I got a call from them right before I came out here, maybe able to at least start doing the plan of running the cables out. And then I did, if you remember when I was here last time and I was showing the stuff outside, and that bad wiring that was in kind of the causeway that's open, that's already a path. So I might pull down all those inappropriate cables, use the weatherproof cables to put my outdoor junction box that's going to hold the flex PoE switches. If I'm able to do that, then we may be able to do the cameras. Then we're going to see about that. Start trying to hang all the other cameras that we possibly can, get all my other testing in place for the existing cameras, and then just see where we need to pull new cables from. And then they said they wanted to go back over to the museum and kind of do a test run of hooking up to that new sound system that we did for them. So the church is going to be migrating to have service over there. So we're probably going to go there. They said they want to meet around like 6:30. So we'll see. So this is mainly going to be a logistical day. I don't know how much work we're going to actually get done. But I'm also going to go down and look at the power supply for that door and maybe be able to at least run the cable for the last intercom that needs to go outside. But that's what we got. Let me pack my laptop up. I got my laptop there, so I really don't need to take my laptop, so I can save on that. I use my service laptop that I leave there at the church. I'll take that, use that there, so I don't have to worry about packing this up and going. But anyway, we had breakfast. Let's get on the road and let's head over to the church. All right, so just so you can see the progress of what's going on, the main street that I normally go on is actually shut down because they're doing the construction. I didn't bring my drone with me today, but let me take you around so you can see kind of like what's going on. We're going to be heading up there today. And again, like I said, trying to do the cameras on the corners take down the old ones that are not working, and it's going to be one on each corner. So a total of 8 on the perimeter up there. It might be more other than that. But again, the sidewalk and everything up here is closed because they're doing all the work up here. I don't know if we're going to get in through the front or not. But again, they're doing a lot of progress on here. So let's get around. Let's get inside. All right. So the office isn't unlocked yet. Actually, Amy sent in an email. Said she wasn't feeling good, so she's not going to be in today. But what we're going to do is, I really wish they would fix this, because then we can put a latch here instead of a magnet. But we're going to feed these cables through here and then put the lock on here. Now all my other stuff is actually in the office, so I can't get into it until somebody's here. We did the cameras and they started doing this. Need to put the towel back up there and clean up all of this. I really want to get a smaller rack for that. I might try and do that if I can get it here in time. What else? Let's go look at the other areas. That's the same thing I'm going to be adding at my house. So this side is done. I mean, outside of that, the magnet at the front and the magnet in the back. Let's see. Back here is where we had a lot of stuff. So fish all the cables through the walls and everything like that. And yeah, that is the intercom that we need to add. There's the power supply that hopefully we can get fixed, or we got to replace that to power the strike, because the strike that I ordered is delayed. So this is just here temporarily. Feed the cable through here, feed the other one for the magnetic lock. This will be done. We already got this outside. We got to put cameras out here. Find that. This is the other intercom that we're going to do. Fish over the cable from the door jamb right here. That's where the power is. Fish that over here. Get it up and over for the intercom. Probably put a plate on here so we can drill through intercom, because that's where we put the tabs and everything there. So the plate, once Dr. Felicia's here, we'll be able to get that, because she should have got that last week, and all the other supplies. Mount that, drill that hole through the wood, because we're not going to go through the stone unless we get some very specific measurements. So we drill through and then drill through to run that cable here. But it looks like they got some event going on here as well too, so I need to stay out of everybody's way. But yeah, I'm gonna see where we can get started. I'm looking for Vince. Maybe he has the key to the front so I can get in and get access to all the other stuff, so we can start doing the other things. But let's actually look upstairs and see how that's going too. Another thing I forgot, we are doing that other switch, so all these other jacks are going to be live. So when we put that other 48 port switch down, every single jack that already has cables connected that aren't being used will be repurposed. So that's going to be good. So let's head upstairs. Let's see what they got going on so far in here. We're going to be heading up there too. All right, so we got to do one here as well as the other steps, and it looks like they have a English learning class going on here. So we need to put a reader here, camera in here, and since they got a ladder up in here, we may have to feed into there. It sounds like somebody's already up there, or go around. We need a camera so we can see the steps as well on each level as well too. And like I said, that's the outside, and really just waiting for Dr. Felicia or somebody to get here so I can see about the supplies that I brought in. We do have the Wi-Fi on here, so they should be good on this side as well too. So busy here at the First United Methodist. Also, we need to put 2 cameras here, another camera facing the door, another one down here. So we got to find out the closest location to do that. So I think with that switch, we'll be able to do that as well. So like I said, probably gonna pop this tile or maybe that one because we don't want to mess with the sprinkler one. Well, now we don't want it here at sprinkler, so we're probably gonna pop this exit one, or no, we'll do this one. But we need to find out where there's another network jack, so it should be jacks here in the wall. So we got to work on that. All right, so the first thing that we have is we finally got the rest of the hard drives in. So we're just adding these and screwing them in place so that we'll have the full array for all of the cameras in place. And then I can shift them from 1080p back to 2K because we didn't have enough space to maintain all of the cameras when we did hard drive space for having everything at that resolution. So once I put this in place, get my laptop to log in and get that configured, we'll be done. Then after that, the angle mount and everything is there. So I'm probably gonna go up there and cut that so that we can drill and get that, because they said the primary thing they wanted me to do is get that other door done, then also get the cameras in place, and then some other smaller stuff, show them how to connect to that. Worst case scenario, and something told me to bring it and I didn't, probably do a fiber optic HDMI cable in that as well, so and put a jack so somebody can actually physically plug in, probably back here or something like that, or on the side somewhere. That's what I'm thinking about doing, but that's what we're doing, and then we'll move from there. Alrighty, all 3 drives are there. It's expanding, so that's going to take a little bit of time. Now what I'm going to do is do some tests and then find out where some of those cables are that cameras are set up, the old cameras. So like there's a couple of ones in the hallway, need to identify those. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the cables there for the ones downstairs so that I know that when the switch comes in, we're able to migrate that. So off to work we go. I really was trying to do all of this on my DJI, so it makes it easy, but I didn't bring it down here. So the main thing, what I've been doing now is cleaning up all of this, putting all the extra short Cat 6 cables here, because ultimately we're going to be moving this upstairs. The 48 port is going to go here, and the cables are long enough. I thought I was going to have to punch down all of these, but I don't have to do that. Once I put that down, I'm going to put the 48 port here, and now be close enough to reach everything. So we should be good with that, because all of these are plugged into other jacks. So once I undo these and connect it, we'll be good to go. And then all of this mess will be cleaned up. All right, so all that's removed, all the extra long cables, those will actually go away. Those are the ones that are actually active, and you can tell from the ether lighting that'll be moved up. Now I do have a couple of extra connections that I'm actually don't have enough jacks for. So the 2 servers that are right here, that plugs in directly. The feed from the sanctuary is right here. What I think I'm gonna do is see if I can convert this over and get a SFP to Ethernet adapter, put 2 of them, and then have this come out of the SFP port on the 48 port switch and the one that's going to go upstairs. So maybe if that's true, Cat 6, I may be able to get a 10 gigabit connection. I don't know, but that would at least free up another jack here, and then I have another keystone that I will do for the computers that are down here. The other thing, the sonic wall needs to get up and out of here. It ain't even plugged up into anything, so we're going to disconnect a lot of the stuff that's not being used anymore and clean out all the stuff. Alrighty, so I've identified another camera that's in the kitchen, and as much as I didn't want to, I was thinking about pulling some more cable. I should have asked Mike when we were here to probably pull, instead of 4 cables, probably pull 16. But instead of doing that, what I think I'm gonna do is make a trip over to Micro Center tomorrow and put a 16 port PoE switch right there. I didn't want to do that, but we'll put that here, and then that way I don't have to run all these extra cables. We can have that plugged in. The viewport still requires PoE++. That will stay connected. The other gray line that is going to Amy's camera, I will still use, I would disconnect that and have that plugged into the switch. That would just make that easier instead of trying to pull a whole bunch of brand new cables. The drives I just changed, so now it's going to be 24 terabytes of storage. One is a backup. So the kitchen is not showing up on here yet. Oh, there it is. That was the kitchen, and it's cycling through all the cameras because this is the default view. But we're gonna try and get the other ones here. So what I'm doing right now, I'm getting ready to head over to the other wing and mark off where these door accesses are gonna go, and then I'm gonna get back down on the other side and try and fish those cables up through the wall, and then try and put the magnetic locks and stuff like that in place. So, and Pastor Felicia's supposed to be here in about an hour. All right, folks. So, I've been sitting here talking with Pastor Felicia for a minute. So, additional work, which is a good thing, but got additional work. Not today, but we got to change up some more stuff. But I'm here in the causeway, and here's one of the cables here for the security camera that leads to this door. So I need to pull this out, and what I think, kind of like the same way, is I'm gonna get another flex case. I thought there was another one here. I thought I had another case here, but we're gonna put another case out here, and that way only one cable needs to go here, and then that can power all of the cameras that need to be out here, because that's also the front of the narthex. That one has that cable when you need to put a cable outside right there, because that was another one that was fed in here. So that's 2 here. We won't have to do this on the other side. So another flex out here will power both of those. One of those cables, replace that cable with this very thick and appropriately graded outdoor Ethernet cable that will feed that through, and then we'll be able to get that. So I'm gonna get the ladder, see if I can open this up, push the new cable through, and then run this to where it needs to, and then kind of get an idea to replace these cables, and maybe we'll have these cameras in place. But we do have some other stuff. I'll explain that later. All right, folks, been really busy. I have to actually stop here in a little bit because I need to head over to Cornerstone to disconnect a bunch of stuff. But as you can see, we started the rack. I actually ran out of screws to go into the drywall, so I got to pick that up. But we're gonna run those up, and I believe we should make it. If not, I'm gonna have to pull this and just shift it up a little bit. But we'll be able to put that there, put the tile in place, cut a tile over there so we can put that one in place. Then trim the pipe, run the extra cables down there, because actually the phones, the Ethernets are for the phones, but since we're now over in voice over IP, those are really not needed. I do need to identify which one is actually for the elevator, and that's where this adapter is going to be configured and put downstairs for that. And then this whole thing is slide over, so it'll sit back behind there. Now, what else have we done? And I'm working backwards here. I gotta hang those. I do have those terminated, and I actually had to put that in the hallway upstairs. The cables that they had in the causeway, like I said, they were not the appropriate cable. It was just regular Ethernet cable, and they were damaged to the weather. They were stripped, all that other stuff, and that's why none of the cameras worked that were connected to them, because half of the cables were damaged. And that's where ultimately this line is going to be replaced. But we have this outdoor cable, and what we did is I re-pulled. That's what that the black Ethernet cable is. That's the camera that's all the way down there. I ran that cable here. Ultimately, what I'm going to do, those are going up to the ceiling right here. So I might use this cable to go replace that cable, go up, and that will be the box that goes to the cameras that are on this wing. This other white cable here that's ripped, we got to pull a new one. That is going to be the one that actually goes to this camera. So that exposed camera like that is going to be temporary. The other thing we did, pulling that cable took longer than I thought. Next time I'm up here, I actually need to get some boots because I stepped and a nail went through my shoe, but thankfully I got it before it hit my foot. But got to be more cautious of that. Back here, so like I said, this is the camera where that cable is just ran, and we're on the other side of where we just came from. So that's here. Got some silicone. We're gonna seal up that extra hole, or I might change that camera out to one of the turrets instead and change that. I don't know yet. So that way we got a camera that when somebody enters the door, boom, right here. This one, we get them here. Anybody going in this direction, anybody going upstairs. We do have another camera that's going to be mounted right there, or I might put it up here. I might put it up there. That way it can go do that too. There's my alarm telling me that I need to leave to head over to Cornerstone. That's what we got so far. Ended up doing some conversations with Pastor Felicia. We may talk about moving the media ministry into a dedicated room. We're just talking about that. Also, possibility of upgrading their sound system. They just want me to put some estimates together because it looks like there are some other estimates that personally I think are way too high in my personal opinion, just based off how many of these I've done. I know a lot of times people say a high price just because they don't think anybody around knows what they're talking about, or they just do it to try and scare people away so that because they really don't want to do an upgrade. It could be either one. I don't know. I'm just here to actually give some factual information, not some assumptions. So let me pack my stuff up. I'm taking a laptop with me because we're going to go over to the museum after this setup for the new service that they're moving over to the museum. And we're going to set up the camera system for them to live stream, which reminds me, I guess I should bring some cable and some tools to make some Ethernet cable. And then do some training on the sound system so that they can add all the instruments and everything like that for when they have service over there. So let me pack up my tools and we may come back this afternoon. I don't know. I do know I need to go to Micro Center. I might do that tomorrow evening so that way I can focus on that Wednesday. Because like I said, we have a really tight turnaround. We need to get the door outside, the last door and intercom working, and then try and get as many, after that, get cameras up. Then after that, try and get as many magnetic locks inside working. We're already planning on having to come back here anyway, and might have to come back here 2 more times if this expansion of the project goes forward. But let me pack up so we can get over to Cornerstone. All right, folks. That's probably my last thing for today. Got enough cable that's going to replace that one in there. So we'll loop it up and go through here. Those two are going to the ceiling, probably to both of those, the cameras up there. Obviously, probably won't need that. We're gonna probably reroute this. But what I did do is I did mount this here, and we're gonna actually have to probably get another one of these because this was actually meant for up there for the camera. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm probably gonna mount the other one here, and both of those cables, I just cut those and pull them to their final location, and then that would be easier to get access to this because I can just mount the other one right here, run the cables, tap on some cables, pull those up there, that'll replace those, and then that's it. Now the other box, I need to buy another one. I'm going to Micro Center. I believe they have those here, there, and then I get another flex, and then we'll put the other one on the other side for the other, for the East Wing cameras, the same way. But this one was for the camera that we did here, and like I said, the one that's going to replace here. So I just need to get in front of my computer and name that camera, that hallway, pull this up off of the floor, put my tools away, and then head over to the museum to catch up with everybody over there. Then I feel like getting some Chinese today. So probably on my way back to the hotel, which I'm not that far away from here compared to the last hotel. I actually stayed in this hotel before when I came up here. It's a little bit closer. It's about like 10 minutes away compared to 25 minutes away at the last one. Get that done. Pick up some food. Do those cameras tomorrow. And we got to figure out something. I might have to pull some more cables in the ceiling, mainly because the box outside requires PoE++. I already have one PoE++ up here that's for the... No, I don't need to do that. I have 4 cables. Might pull 4 cables here. 2 of them are going to the cameras. One is for Amy's computer. The other one is for the um, viewport. So if I disconnect one, connect that to the new switch that we put here, then I don't have to pull another cable. So I don't know where I left off. Actually, the door started ringing and it took over. The access control took over from my phone. Um, but I think I'm probably just got to remote in, name it, set everything up. But now that I got enough cables, I just got to change which one is going to be there. 2 of them are going to be for the PoE++. The other one is going in that direction. That's one of the cables that I have on the floor. Um, the other one will actually be done away with because when I put the switch there, that'll be there. So we're looking at getting a 16 port switch. Do I have to get a 16 port? Because we got Amy's computer that needs to go there. And almost all of these cables are probably going to have to be done. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, got to do 16. So a 16 port switch will go there. Have the other ones go directly to the PoE++. Make 3 of them PoE++. I got 8 in the back on that 48 port switch, so that's fine. And then we'll be good. If somebody had some type of... I thought it was a Wi-Fi extender. I was like, who in the world put that in here? The internet is more than fine in here. Anyway, let me move my stuff out of Amy's way because I believe she's going to be here tomorrow, as long as she's feeling better. And then we pick up from there. Grab my tools, grab my bag, and then let's head over to the museum and then head back to the hotel.